Good morning, everybody. Today's video is going to be about you as the owner of the vehicle. Just like I've said many times, what you should be doing whenever you go get service somewhere. It doesn't matter where it's at. It doesn't matter if it's a dealer. It doesn't matter if it's at Expert Tire or Jiffy Lube or Meineke. What you as the consumer should be doing when you leave that place for service. First of all, you're going to make sure you got paperwork in hand whenever you drop your vehicle off for service and leave and it's paid for. You need paperwork in hand. Don't ever leave a facility without some kind of receipt. I've seen people do that. It's a couple years ago. I was at a independent shop doing business, and the gentleman had said that he was going to disable something on the vehicle because there was a fault with it and it wasn't necessary, but it was a part of a piece of safety equipment. Not an airbag, but a piece of safety equipment, let's just put it that way. And parking brakes. And they disabled the parking brakes for the gentleman because they unfortunately don't make the part that he needs anymore. You have to go to a salvage yard or something to get it, and didn't want to down the vehicle in the meantime for that. So what the shop basically said was, well, let's just disable it for him. Like the guy said, let's just take his money to do it, and then we won't write no receipt up or anything for it. So there's no paper trail coming back to us in case something happens where he said he set the parking brake and all of a sudden it didn't work, and then that's why this issue happened. So I had brought up to these people, well, why don't you just have him sign the paperwork stating that he authorized you to do X, Y, Z? And they said that they don't want to do that. They don't even want to take a chance. If there's no paperwork, that's good. It's whatever, man. It's not my problem. Make sure that you're getting your paperwork filled out. Make sure you're leaving with a receipt, regardless of what somebody's doing. Even if you sign off on saying that's okay, you leave with the paperwork. Secondly, when you leave a place for service and there's been fluids involved, especially with your engine, pop the hood, check the oil if you can. Some vehicles you can check the oil, other ones you can go through the cluster because it's electronic. You could see the fluid level that way and do so in that regard. That's what I'd like for you guys to do. Either pull the dipstick and check, or look on your dash at your fluid level percent, which it will display what you need. If you don't know how to check your oil, find me, find somebody like me, find somebody that can show you how to check your oil and go about doing it. Anytime you leave for service, that's what you need to be doing. It is your responsibility to do so. I don't care what your thought process is. You as the owner, owning the vehicle, think what your rights and what you're entitled to. I don't care about any of that. This is what you need to do. You need to check and make sure that service was performed, or at least there's fluid in that vehicle whenever you leave that facility. So paperwork in hand, fluid in the vehicle when you leave that facility, and pay attention to how the vehicle's running at least the first 20 to 30 miles of how it's driving after you've had some kind of service done, because that could play a key part, maybe up to 50 miles. That could play a key part on whether a service was done or whether fluid or something was actually put back in. Say somebody drains your differential, and then all of a sudden they get caught up with doing something else and they forget about putting the fluid and stuff back in. While you're driving, if you normally have the radio blasting and stuff like that, you can't hear that grinding, humming, howling sound that's going on before those gears start to chew themselves up, right? So when you leave a facility, radio off, phone off, and drive. Listen to the vehicle. Listen to how it's performing. Turn all the noise off. Turn everything away from your body and stuff like that, and focus on you and that vehicle as you're driving, so you can get an idea on kind of what's going on, especially after a service has been performed. That is the best, most critical way of being in tune. Those are my top 3 things of when you've had service done. This is what you should be doing. Make sure you got paperwork. Make sure the fluid is there. Check the engine oil, pull the dipstick, make sure it's on the dipstick to the full mark. Make sure your coolant and stuff is full, or whatever it is that you went in for. And then you went in for a coolant flush, well, then figure out where your radiator reservoir is, or your coolant reservoir is, and make sure that coolant reservoir is full. Oh, you had a power steering flush? Well, show me where that's at. Show me where my power steering reservoir is. Pull the cap on your power steering reservoir and check, make sure it's full. It's to the full line. Make sure you have a flashlight with you, like a little pocket flashlight or something you can shine down inside it so you can see it bounce off the fluid level, and you'll see the line on the top of the container, because sometimes it's hard to see where the fluid's at. But if you take a little flashlight, put it in the top of the fluid and look down, you can look on the side of the container. Oh, it's at the full mark. Oh, you're good. Check those things. Any type of fluid service that you have done where somebody's going to remove the fluid and put it back in, figure out how you can verify that the fluid has been put in there. It's going to be kind of hard if it's differentials, transfer cases. Those you're going to have to kind of listen for as you're driving to see, am I hearing any abnormal noises? So paperwork, fluid level check, turn the noise and stuff down inside the vehicle, have everything off while you're driving when you leave that facility, and pay attention obviously to driving, but also pay attention to how that vehicle is operating. Get an idea and feel for what's going on, and cut all that other crap out. No radio, no phones, no nothing. Just drive. Be in tune with the vehicle for at least a good half hour or so, and just drive the vehicle and listen to it, and get an idea on what's going on. If everything sounds good, chances are you're good to go. Those are my 3 top things for just after having a vehicle serviced. This is what you need to do. Now, as I've been trying to end my videos with a positive push or sentiment or recommendation or affirmation, I'm going to end this one the same way. Find somebody and pay them a compliment today. Hold the door for somebody. Say thank you to somebody. Check on somebody that you haven't checked on. And just try to be there for somebody that you normally wouldn't be there for. Go out of your way a little bit more today than what you normally have to make somebody else smile or make them happy. It doesn't cost anything to be kind, but it makes you feel terrible and really taxes you where it should to be mean to somebody, even when it's just. Find somebody and be nice to them today. Be kind to them. Do something different today that you didn't do yesterday. I appreciate you. Be blessed. I love you all.